is, and the Bible reveals that family relationships are important to him.
But as a believer, do you feel that you're still struggling?
Maybe you're still struggling with your relationship,
Struggling with your finances?
struggling at work,
With your social life?
or with your spiritual life.
We invite you to join us
On our Family Table Talk every Saturday,
at 7:30 a.m. on My TV.
or catch us on our Facebook page. To 9, but today will be 7:30 to 8:30, and we'll give you 1 hour. For those of you having breakfast, or maybe panikeke or saparaki, topoi, or even rice wakalolo, babakau, or even ibi time in Fiji. Taltalambuli brought some ibi from Namukilau. It was the best ibi in Fiji.
Really?
So we say Bulavinaka. And to those of you Fijians that you are around the world, those of you in New Zealand getting ready to watch Ndrua playing the blues. My team is the blues, playing my countrymen. But
My team is
I'll cheer for both.
I'll cheer for Ndrua.
blues, and I also cheer for Ndrua.
Okay.
And for those of you in Whangarei, to the community in Whangarei, we say Bulavinaka. Thank you so much for the time we spent there.
Yeah.
I'm not forgetting those in Hamilton, in Auckland, that will be traveling up to Whangarei to watch the Ndrua. Not forgetting those of you in Suva, all the teams are preparing for another next 7 tournament, the Tambanamu, and also the Mari 7. All the best to all the boys, all the teams, especially to the under 21 all over. Big improvement. And we say this morning, Mbula Binaka, all the way from
most of all to the Dominion Brothers team. All the best for the Sevens. Well, we would like to say thank you for joining us and following this program. We were actually greeting you all the way from Crown Plaza in Nandi last Saturday. But today we are here at the Hermitage Hall. Beautiful. If only you can see, it's beautiful. The tables are white, the chair covers are orange. And we have beautiful couples that are actually sitting here. Smiling away. It's like a little Fiji village in the heart of a
And our children outside playing.
Yeah, and our children outside playing. And when we actually arrived, I said, that sounds like Fijian. You know, you can know a Fijian. Even if you go to the Never Nevers, you'll always know a Fijian.
Yeah.
And it's
we
really,
make the world bright.
Yeah. So we are blessed to be here. We actually arrived last night. And it's been great. In actual fact, we are going to be studying our administration in everything, from the room to the restaurants, even when you were leaving. And the Tukana, you were tops, man, wearing all those hula skirts and everything, saying goodbye, and singing them, you know, return to church. Well, this is Tukana. Tukana, whenever he comes in with the number 1 zone in Suva, I don't know whether people can remember him, for those of you in New Methodist. No matter how boring that item is, Tukana will make it exciting for you. They know the life that Tukana lives. And they came and said, how did you know that family? And Tukana said, I was their youth and I left. And this is one thing that they said. After all those years of being away from church, the way you blend in with them, it's like you never left. For those of you that are out there who have left New Methodist for your own reasons, that is very valid. If you have nowhere else to go and you know that you're facing a mountain that no one can, help you with it, come back home. No place like home. And we'll gladly welcome you back. Well, we're in England, and we're starting our training tonight, and also full day tomorrow. And Sunday will be our combined service. If you are really interested or join us for service, just come in. Come in. You're not coming into the church. You're coming into God. So we are so looking forward to this weekend's program. Yeah, it's like a work program for us, really, like touch and go. And I must thank God for that every opportunity. So we have been talking about a lot on families, the packages that you bring to your marriage. Sometimes, most of the times as we share from the family table talk, we always speak of families that are normal. You sit, nuclear, you start anew. And we fail to talk much on family. They bring your own packages. Your partners may have passed on or, went on with another woman or with another man. And then you are lugging around your package looking on. And when you do, sometimes they don't embrace you with the whole package. They only take you and they leave your children. Or they only bring their children and they minus your children out of the equation. And those are the things that we are focusing on. Thinking that if we talk about it, that we don't usually do. But when we do, maybe it can help you. To manage, or maybe it will help you before you jump into that relationship. Check a few ticks, a few boxes that you need to tick, whether that person loves you only or love you with your children. As long as you have your package, the deal is, if somebody loves you, have to love you with your children. Because if that doesn't happen, then it's not love. True love is that when that person comes in and love you with everything that you have. So, because there's a lot of it in Fiji, a lot of broken marriages, a lot of, there's just a lot. Fiji is not what it used to be. And, but I'm glad that we have programs like this that we can talk about it and, talk about certain things in life. Yeah, and
I was sharing on a few mornings ago, I went for prayer. It was 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And the Taltalangas waiting for me. We heard a woman crying.
Yeah, the one you said opposite the house.
And you can, you can really feel for the punches, the kick, and that woman was yelling out for life.
That was like just to speak on that issue, the one you shared with us that morning. He left at about, that was about a little bit after 4. Very dark in Fiji, going out for prayers, he usually does that. And on his way to the car, he heard this fight and this woman yelling out for help. Very dark, couldn't even make out their silhouette or see them, but only the sound of punches, kicks, and this woman yelling out on top of her voice. Yeah, but I'm glad that he called the police. Like the we try to mind our own business. Like we watch and we move on. We always say to us, no, that's none of my business. That's their own business. But there's a lot of cases in Fiji when we mind our own business and it's fatal. They die in the process. And I know, like when that happens, you'll never forgive yourself because a phone call can save their life. So,
it was amazing because when I called the police, the ops center, that's one advantage to it. For us, especially if you hold, if you want to be responsible. If you want to be a responsible citizen, get the fire, the police numbers, and especially if there are police centers around you. Or if not, just get, normally the police, they publish their divisional police commanders, their numbers. So we can call them and be part of solution solving to the people around there. Because when I called, they said they have petrol just near Vivaras. So I described them the house, and then we left. And imagine if I tend to look the other way. We are not minding our own business. We are not able to help, or we don't want what to do. See, most of the time when problems are happening, we are very quick to take pictures and send it. That's not minding our own business. No? We are minding in the wrong way. When we see some problem, we know what to do and to which authority to call for them to help, and the quickest help.
But I think there is a program in Fiji, it's called the Neighborhood Watch. Like they have these big eyes on the billboard and on the frame, like on that street, and that is what we have done. Like you watch out for your neighborhood. If you see something that is not normal, then there is a number always written for us to call.
Yeah, but it's mostly Fijian when we don't share problem for help. We share the problem like in a gossip style. No, we just want to, or that house has been like this, or that person. Rather than dealing with the issue, we're supposed to be dealing with the issue. Call the right people who are supposed to be there. And sometimes if we jump in, we get involved and we can get into problem again. No? So the best thing to know what you're supposed to do in case like that. And we can be a help to the people involved. Like for example, the viral on that young boy and a young girl, and somebody called the police, and the police came in right on time, and they fixed the problem. That's why we're supposed to be a good citizen, in all sense of the way. We watch our neighbors. I remember one time, that's about 10 years ago, 15 years ago, when we just moved into Laudala. Our neighbors are old couple, and they have coconut trees, and they have coconut are ripe, are ready. And one time we were there.
Yeah, I remember that day. We were actually sitting out on our porch. You know how bad it is, the story that he was wanting to say. There's this group of Fijian boys. They walk into your compound like it's theirs. Like if you're looking from afar, it's that's their home. This couple actually physically sitting there, and this group of Fijian boys with their big tangani raisi, tangani falawa, walk in, get the coconut, lambu, ko will take to one sala. Tao na tanga. This couple just sit there. And then we look in and said, what happened? So they always do that. Hey, get out of the compound, it's not your house. And that used to be normal at that time. Fights all over the place. It's like Laudala Beach. You either hear a house, like the whole family fighting each other, bottles being thrown onto the wall. There used to be a lot of happenings. But it's always calling the police, always calling the police. And it's amazing. It has stopped for years. And after a very long time, then he hears that couple again. Like we don't really speak to each other, like we respect each other's privacy. But when that happened, I believe it's our responsibility just to be a good neighbor, to look out, because if the help is late, a lot of deaths have happened in Fiji, and a lot of cases that should make us think otherwise.
Yeah.
You know? And more so, like you always say, when they used to call for the throne room and the miracles to happen.
Yeah, one thing that before you used to hear a lot of women calling, my husband is doing this, my husband doing this. But now the call is just like the same. The husband too are calling, or the children are calling, that our mother left us. You know? So for those of us that we are calling, 80% or 85% of divorce or separation or fighting between husband and wife is drunkenness. This is the culprit, because most of the time we just deal with the tip of the iceberg. Yeah,
The
just
issues,
issues, just the problem between them. But if we start to go down
to the root.
then we start to realize it's drunkenness. Either they are away from home all the time, or because of their drunkenness, they end up with a different partner when they have their partner at home. All this, or ending up assault or fighting. All these things, the bottom line is drunkenness. And this is one of the area, but we are not looking at the problem that is facing our young people. See, last week, another 12 kg cocaine, hard drugs. Yeah? And that's what is coming in. And I believe it's becoming a big problem in Fiji. I'm just thinking or imagining 10 years' time, 20 years' time, what will be the street of Fiji look like? Now the street of Suva and Lautoka and Nandi, even Nosori, we see young people as young as 8, 9, and 10, 12. They are on the street looking for money. Most of the time they with a handkerchief or with a small can of glue. Yeah? They can't hide it anymore. Smoking marijuana and sniffing glue, they can't hide it anymore.
Becomes normal,
Yeah.
eh?
So when we don't address the issue, the problem becomes normal.
Yeah.
Because we don't address the issue. And I believe it's about time that we sit as a Koro, we sit as church leaders,
Yeah.
as a community leaders, and we should talk about this. And this is one platform, because we can talk about it. Yeah. We can talk about it on a family table talk every 7:30 like this on Saturdays.
Yeah.
For those of you out there that you can talk about it, and we believe there's a lot of acknowledgement on good vibes from the family table talk. We are not preaching, we are not using Bible verse, we are just sharing our common denominator. That is, we want good family, we want goodness to our children, and we can come together as leaders of families, leaders of the community because of that.
Yeah.
And if we don't talk about it, the cancer will start to grow and grow and grow until such a time it'll become normal. When the abnormal becomes normal, I tell you, then the community that we are living in is no longer human.
Yeah.
It's very inhuman. And we increase the police surveillance,
Yeah.
and the police will be getting very, very rough, because nobody can deal with the issue.
Yeah.
Because that issue, it's supposed to be dealt with our individuals. So parents that you are out there, always be careful and always look out for your children out there, because we are very vulnerable, and nobody can say that we can go through that without the help of somebody else. No,
Yes.
we need to work together. Community need to work together. The churches, the Banua, and even the government, they can work together. Yeah.
Yeah, to create a lot of awareness program. Some of the things, our children, when they get involved with a lot of things, they're just so inquisitive. Curiosity get them to taste, and when they taste it, they like it, and you can't stop them. So it's good to tell them the pros and the cons when they still haven't tasted it, so they know. If they're going that way, they know fully well where it's going to take them. Not all of our children will be perfect. You'll have issues with some. But on the other hand, continue to shower them with your love, continue to talk to them. They are your children anyway. And whatever happens, and if you go to church, you need to trust God. There are certain things you cannot control. but we leave it to God. And I know as much as possible in this family table talk, we don't want to talk about God too much because like it's the only program that we can say, no church, no nothing. But whether we try to do that as much as possible, we always go back to God. Yeah. Because you cannot minus him. He seems to be the only fix, and he seems to be the only solution to a lot of things that we are doing. And so wherever you are with your families, a lot of you Fiji people like here, I'm looking at the faces, and out in Australia, New Zealand, we were talking about it today, like Fiji, it's even in the process, for those of you in Fiji, you see in the printed media, on how, the processes are going for Australia and New Zealand. So it's going to be no visa, And last night, I read it in the papers before, but confirmed by the Wangandaus last night, that Fijian passport holders can, travel to Dublin with it's visa stamp on arrival. So Dubai is this year. There's a lot of countries opening up with no visa, which means Fiji will be empty very soon. And so as much as possible, we cannot control the development, we cannot control the things that come to our country. We allow them out, they will always come back. And when they come back with all those things. And the development we cannot control, continue to evolve. That's how the world is. And here we are, like for me, I'm turning 50, forgetting my age, 58 this year. And if I look back over my years, it's no longer applicable now. The way I was brought up, stay in your house, 6 o'clock, don't go outside, it's dark. That doesn't work now. Because if you do it to your children, they'll find windows, they create new doors. A lot of things they do. So it doesn't work now. And sometimes we bring with us the upbringing we have and we throttle it to our children. And that's where the disagreement comes. Because you're bringing your upbringing and you're trying to, just to condemn and to say, don't do that. Like it's always anger, always that kind of talk. Don't do that. It's like, don't. Why don't you sit down and you tell them why you're saying the don't? If you're saying the don't, then what are the repercussions when they pick that up? What will happen to them? Talk to them about the repercussions so you give them the responsibility to make a decision. I do that to my grandchildren. I will give them, examples. If you're going to choose this way, this is where it takes you. If you're going to go this way, this is where it takes you. Now, look at the end product, and I will throw it back to you. You make your decision. I will not tell you what to decide. I will not force you to decide. I will give you all the options, and when you decide, I'll meet you on the other hand, and I'll tell you, okay, you made it yourself. I did it with my children. My children didn't make good decisions. Some of them didn't. Some did, but I gave them the freedom. And parenting, it's different. We, parent our children in a totally different ways. Whatever ways that you do, be present and be current. Look around you and know what works and what doesn't work. You need to do that. And also, we've spoken much about the family and the packages that you bring in, the different kind of families that are out there. Those are facing domestic abuse. Even apart from the domestic abuse, verbal abuse. You wake up in the morning, you hear swears, you sleep again in the night, you still hear swearing, all those things. You may not, most of us who go to church, but the verbal abuse, it's more damaging because you continue to hear those things and it, stays in your mind, belittle you without you knowing. You don't get those punches, but you hear all these things.
And sometimes the verbal abuse is even painful than the physical abuse. That's why sometimes people run away from home because of that abuse, and they find peace in other people's life. Men find people in other women's life. Women find peace in other men's life because of the verbal abuse. It penetrates, it hits the soul. See, physical abuse will not touch the soul. The words that we say is even more painful than the puns and then the physical abuse. I want to go back to the discipline. You can change the method, but you can't change the message.
Yeah.
That means the discipline and what you share to your children will be the same.
Yeah.
The same concept, the same penetration, but using the different method.
Yeah.
It's just like preaching. You just changing the method according to the era, to the time that we have our children.
Yeah.
As Randini said, we can't bring in the kind of discipline that we used to receive from home. Gunguni pusi, nambarawa, nambeleti, dumunikato maleka, who making us who we are today.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we want to encourage you because of the discipline we have at home. And sometimes, last week we were talking about some of us fathers, your wife come with a child from maybe first relationship.
Yeah.
And sometimes our discipline or our love is different to the own children and to the children of stepmother or the mother to the child that comes with your husband now.
Yeah.
And the way that you deal, it becomes natural. You will close to your flesh. That one is not your flesh. It's the flesh of your partner. And sometimes this is where comes, last week there's a case in the newspaper, printed newspaper, a father doing to the stepdaughter. And it's very sad when you read those kind of things. It really touches your heart. Their stepmother is not looking after them properly, or the stepfather always abused them. These are all the problems that we are facing, that we talk about the relationship at home. There's no perfect community, but we can work together. For us in the church, we can do preaching, sharing, teaching that are relevant. We tailor-made our message to meet the problem that we are facing. For us pastors, we can do munau. We can do yuli babanua turang di koro turang matagali. Aure tu dona platform go sini bangan tagi tu babinaka in the community. We were at a community in Delaware, and I was sharing with them. Call the people here. Kim do suliana, kim do kenigel, do suliana gel. Kadi mind dona vital. Always talk to the people. Talking and meeting to me is the best way to deliver or share what you want. Especially ni kanda tau kenigel, kanda wami kento meditasiri, kento may rewa, to may tiliw, kanda tau kenigel, kanda sulian tulong dagel. Vi ralamay, vi pataki may law, galomay. On the community living, da baka nga tagatalya, menda talno kina, kung may karame dorbo, baka nga takin na barbecue, sendo na volleyball, sendo na daba, dan dami kina, o tiyan na kayo, bosa kenda na turangan banua. Baltan na sebada ba kenda nito kini nito bosa, kenda dami tu na warong. E normal to be kenda. Kaya mali kenda na baka nga ilimu na platform ba, o tiya, nandun na bosa may na tampanan nilawa, doon bosa may natwira na drugs, na effect ni drugs, na kaya ka mabikenda, kaya ka makinamona. Sa kaya bosa weekend na taltala, na kaya, bagay voltam. So, always a solution to a problem. Kasi sindo a solution, it's not a problem. Kaya mabali erawa ni kanda takabata bitang noa. Sa kanga ni dalawang bata kinayalo binaka. Doon ka ang gumendayalo binaka. Nandua bata, tigo bata kinandon may, walilebu kinoa rewanga. Dua ka ang do pakangata kinangito, o kilama yung gawia manda. Doon nangon sa alago kina ng gito. Natu idake timi ng gawia, timi ni Red Rock, timi ni Mbua. Watu na timi lelebu. Kaya baka lutu sarang akin na basulawa, na bono lebong gawia. Kando rongo tu na bakatata. Kaya bali, ito eso na ka, community kina social activities. Roni bebu ke, me maroro ng bulan ng basulawa. Kina baka Italia sa ato di ko.
Kandila.
Community na sasamaki, tomi. Ura nung tatambangon na energy to bira, ni siniba katabi na they will look for it. Ningaw na sa rasini commit kina, they will look for something to do. Kaya baka rasini recognize na ka, sa ni recognize na ka may bali. Iko ngoni binaka, iko darbo binaka, iko nelo binaka. Binaka mo lebo. Binabali mo na masumasi, binabali mo na naramataka, binabali mo na sasamaki. If you don't recognize them, they will look to be recognized. Doon mo nung nalita ka maginendura ka, direct knowledge lagi. Kaya mali, non dei tabiti ko na itumbu-tumbu daw ni Yesusu, kaya na community leaders, men da taka bata. O reda tiko, na ngunong ko, na matintu sa doon ka may nalingana. Naloto talaga amin, doon ka nalingana. Napano talaga amin, doon ka may nalingana. Na reda tiko na matintu sa, nakamatsuko ilim na ka. Kento na manu, kento na loto, baka kento, via vukim perato ka malalay. Vi taurilinga, metaredak kinambula binaka balta ni sindo na kandre sen ka mabali sa sarangan ng masulawa sa nga isin tukun sa sarangan go sa nga kanda bula tukun do na banua do na pura eta ka ngabe bango and the bullet tu nga no da bula so nangona taltalo na luwe sa sarangan go tu na yun lang sarangan ngoro ni ko up to par with your character building ngoro mo libanua. Kako mo doon ibirita ka na tawelo, si ko bosa taga doon na bosa, mo buto ka sa bukina, and doon mo sa kompil ko, sindo ba ya, doon na, gori na kako kaya, ito man nalang aling amo, Kami bale, kenda rin ibibu kita ka so nakalalay, Daro ni bimu kegina. Menta kako ni sambita kira tu nga. Kore na itabawane. Bale tuna kena iwali. Tuna kake daro ndagaba.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. And I believe for those of us who go to church, there's a lot of problems out there, the awareness and everything. But one thing that I see for us church people, I go to church. I belong to a church. Most of the times, these very people, they come up from prison or, you know, they did something wrong. And it's like they carry a stigma with them. And we, the church people, when they come, we always have the kind of looks in our eyes.